Imagine you have booked a flight. Your name, seat number, and destination gets recorded in the database system. From that moment on, those details are logged. In Python, we have something similar called a tuple, a collection you can't change once created. In this lesson, I will explain tuples step by step using a flight booking example. What is a tuple? A tuple is just an ordered collection of items, but unlike a list, you can't change it once it is created. Think of it like a confirmed flight ticket. Your passenger details are logged in. Let's start with how to create a tuple. Here is the syntax. We give our tuple a name, in this case, tuple underscore name. Then we use parentheses and place a list of items inside, separated by commas. Now let's see it in action with our flight booking example. This is how we create a tuple in Python. In this example, we created a tuple called ticket. It stores 4 fixed pieces of information: the passenger's name, the flight number, the seat, and the route. When we print it, you'll see the full booking details grouped together. Just like in a real airline system, all the important information is stored neatly in one record. Once we have created a tuple, we often need to access individual items inside it. In Python, we do this using index numbers. Here is the syntax. Tuple name in square bracket index. Tuples use indexes, just like lists. Remember, Python starts counting at 0. So, index 0 gives us the first item, index 1 gives us the second, and so on. For example, let's check the passenger seat number from our booking example. Print ticket in square bracket 2. Indexes start at 0, so index 2 is the third item. In this case, it shows the passenger seat number, seat 12A. It is just like an airline agent pulling up your booking and checking exactly which seat has been assigned to you. Python also allows us to access tuple items using negative indexing. Here is the syntax. Tuple name in a square bracket negative index. Negative indexes count from the end of the tuple. So, -1 refers to the last item, -2 refers to the second to last item, and so on. For example, let's try this with our flight booking example. Print ticket in square bracket -1. Here, index -1 gave us the last item, which is the flight route information. Negative indexing is especially handy when you want to grab data from the end of a tuple without having to count all the way from the beginning. Sometimes we don't want just one item. We want a portion of the tuple. In Python, that is called slicing. Slicing lets us take a portion of the tuple. This is the syntax. Tuple name in a square bracket start colon end. The slice begins at the start index and goes up to, but doesn't include the end index. For example, let us try this with our flight booking example. Print ticket in square bracket 1:3. Here, we slice from index 1 up to, but not including index 3. That means we get the items at index 1 and 2, but not index 3, because the end value is exclusive. In our example, the result is the flight number and the seat. It is like being at the check-in counter where staff only need part of your booking information, not the entire record. So far, so good? Sometimes we want to look at every item in a tuple one by one. In Python, we can do this with a for loop. For item in tuple name, do something with item inside that loop. Let us try this with our flight booking example. For detail in tickets, print the detail. This prints each item on its own line. passenger name, flight number, seat number, and route. Using a loop is like an airline agent reviewing all the details on a passenger's ticket. It allows us to process or display every item in the tuple without having to access each one individually. Sometimes we need both the position of an item and its value. In Python, we can use the range function with a tuple to loop through indexes. Let's see this with our flight booking example. For I in range len ticket, print index I, ticket in square bracket I. I is the index of the tuple. In this example, the len function calculates the number of items in the tuple. The range function then generates a sequence of index numbers from 0 up to 1 less than the length of the tuple, allowing us to access each item by its position. Then this prints out index 0 passenger name, index 1 flight number, index 2 seat number, index 3 route. Using this method, we can see both the position and the detail for each item. It is similar to an airline agent checking each field on a passenger's record one by one while keeping track of its order. Alright, so far so good. In Python, we can also combine tuples or repeat their items using concatenation and multiplication. Here is the syntax. In concatenation, we create a new tuple by combining two or more tuples using the plus sign. In multiplication, we create a new tuple by duplicating the current tuple by n times. Concatenation joins two or more tuples together using plus sign to create a new tuple. Multiplication repeats the items in a tuple a specified number of times. Let us try this with our flight booking example. We have already created a ticket 1, and here is another ticket 2, which contains the passenger information. Then we combine ticket 1 and ticket 2 together, and we create a new tuple contains all passengers, ticket plus ticket 2. Then print all passengers. Here we have merged two booking into one record. Now the tuple contains details of both passengers. It's just like the airline system showing multiple passengers booked on the same flight. We can also multiply a tuple to repeat the items. For example, repeat ticket 2 times 2. Then print repeat ticket. Multiplying a tuple is useful when we need to duplicate data, such as printing multiple copies of a booking or sharing the same record multiple times. Python also provides built-in functions that make it easy to work with tuples. Here is the syntax. Len tuple, max tuple, min tuple. The len function returns the total number of items in a tuple. The max and min functions return the largest and smallest values, which are especially useful when working with numbers. Let us see this in action. Suppose we want to store the price of different flight tickets. Ticket underscore prices, then 350, 420, 280, 510, and 390. Then print len ticket prices, print max ticket prices, print min ticket prices. Here, len function tells us there are 5 prices recorded in the tuple. Max shows the most expensive ticket, that is 510, and min shows the cheapest one, that is 280. These functions are very useful when you need to analyze tuple data, such as finding the highest fare, the lowest fare, or simply checking how many records you have in the database. So that is tuples in Python. They are perfect for storing fixed records like flight bookings, where the details shouldn't change. We saw how to access items with indexes, slice portions, combine records, and run built-in functions. Thanks for watching.